Hi Shell, and all you other wonderful weirdos watching. So this time I have a more varied vlog. And first things first, I should probably say I've been buying books again. But in my defense, they were wrapped and very tempting. So I thought I'm gonna have a nice little vlog. So I have 3 books here. The first, that is not wrapped, is Night Shift by Stephen King. I haven't got the sticker off it yet, but I got it for like $2.50. And it's a collection of terrifying short stories that reveal shudderingly detailed map of the dark places that lie behind our waking rational mind. So I thought, since there is a lot in here, so I'm gonna like steadily make my way through this collection, and I probably won't like get to the end of it by, I don't know, I'll probably like take my time, because it's with a short story thing you can probably just like dip into it, read something and then take a break. So I'm gonna start reading some short story by King. I did have a very bad starting point because I did not know what to make of The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. I mean, interesting, but yeah, interesting to actually get started properly with Stephen King and seeing if I like his work. Apparently it's going to be polarizing. So, question is, do I start with the mystery or the adventure? Because, yeah, they did not put anything more than that. That is literally all I get. This is not a very good sellotape job. Right, I'm going to open both of them and then see which one I feel like starting with. So here we go, mystery. There's a sticker on this immediately. So we have Eve Green by Suzanne Fletcher, and there is quite an annoying sticker right there. Following the loss of her mother, 8-year-old Evie is sent to a new life in rural Wales, a dripping place where flowers appear mysteriously on doorsteps and people look at her twice. With a sense of being lied to, she sets out to discover her family's dark secret, unaware that when a local girl vanishes, there is yet more darkness to come. Now, years on, as Eve Green awaits the birth of her own child, she remembers that first Welsh summer. Her lies, her anger, her own reckless role in the hunt for Rosie's abductor, and how, through her suppressed grief and strange friendships, she learnt some hard lessons about trust, identity, guilt, love, and how to survive when love is gone. Whoa, this sounds like a heavy read. This sounds like, it sounded sweet. Oh, there's a dog-eared page. Nope, it's not dog-eared, it's just accidentally folded, but I always find it interesting when I find bookmarks in books to see where people actually stopped reading. But this seems like, it sounded sweet until it wasn't. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. Oh, so the observer says, all around this clear-eyed portrait of childhood, Fletcher spins an unsettling mystery. Oh, when was this published? First published in Great Britain, 2004. I'm not sure how I feel about this book, and I'm actually quite scared of it. So this is interesting. Ooh. So that's on the list. Next up is the adventure. We have floral. Opened it on the back. I've opened it on the back. The Secrets of Little Greek Taverna by Erin Palmisano. My dyslexia is not having a good time with this. Palmisano. I hope that is how you say that. Sorry if it isn't. Just add a dash of magic. In a village on Naxos lies a gorgeous guest house and taverna that never opened. Cressida's husband died suddenly. The taverna was their dream, but she's been too lost in grief to keep that dream alive. Joy St. James always feels more at home on the move. As if summoned by the island, she arrives on Naxos in the middle of the night and quite unexpectedly becomes Cressida's very first guest. Joy quickly discovers that this trip will be more than just sightseeing adventure. All the women she meets in this town are more than what they seem, but when a hotel group offers to buy the Taverna, it's going to take all of Joy and Cressida's drive and expertise to keep that from happening. With a generous dash of romance, deliciously tempting food, and growing friendship, can these two women find a way to finally open the little Greek taverna? Already driven away by the fact that it says romance. Hope it's done okay. I think my dyslexia is going to like the typeface. But yeah, I wouldn't have called that adventure. It sounds like a holiday read, if anything. So, adventure maybe, but we'll see. It's got a pretty cover though. Got a pretty cover. Like I want to be there. I'm not used to, it's not something that I would normally reach for. It seems too out of my usual interests. So this is going to be an interesting read. I'm going to attempt it, see if it is something I might be willing to try again later, but I don't know. It's always nice to step out the comfort zone. I am also reading, I did start Why Is Nobody Talking About This? Currently out of reach, but currently no idea what's going on, but it's like in snippets, and just trying to make sense of what's going on is a little terrifying right now. I'm hoping it kind of clears up later on, but yeah, 3 books that I've recently bought and I'm going to immediately read, and maybe I'll pick up Magic Study to finish. But yeah, this just feels like an outlier. My usual read feels like an outlier here. But we'll see how it goes. I'll probably end up finishing Night Shift more than the other 2, but we'll see how it goes. I'm actually somehow intrigued to have a little bit of a break from fantasy at the minute, especially after how much it was driving me crazy in the last trilogy I was reading that and still haven't finished. I think I'll probably definitely start with a mystery. Can't wait, can't wait. Does anybody else do that thing where they're trying to pick out the perfect bookmark for their books? Okay, so I've not been doing as much reading as I was hoping. I have made a start on Eve Green, and I'm up to page 57, and I am loving it. It is beautiful, and I am just transported to the Welsh why can't I say countryside? I want to say countryside. I'm just like, why am I putting an L in there? Anyway, I'm transported to the Welsh countryside. That's the way. There we go. And it is so beautifully written about, but it's also very, very deep and about grief and how a 7-year-old has just lost her mother, and it's just like, it's in these little snapshots of just memory and relating it, and how she's found her mother's shoebox under the bed and how she was so protective of it when she did, and now that she has the ability to go through the shoebox, we're getting little like images of what is in the shoebox, like letters about how she first saw her father and his like reputation around this small Welsh town. And I felt in the street, because she lived in Birmingham, before her mother died, and then having to live with her grandparents in a little Welsh town on a farm. And I feel in both places, and I feel so emotional. Also, there was a line that kind of hit me a bit too close to home, and I had to like put the book down and start just cry it out, just cause ouch. But I really love this book. I even just had to say out loud some of these lines because it is beautiful, and my goodness, I don't know how to talk much about this book without spoiling it, but it does say on the back that it is about a girl who has basically lost her mother, so that's not much of a spoiler. It's on the back of the book in the blurb. So I am currently loving it. I just wish I had more time to spend reading it. Okay, so I'm up to page 39. So I'm not too far. This is like beginnings of my journey through this thing, and I do not know what is going on. Besides, I don't even know what this book is about. It's not obvious. Besides that, there's a person that's using the internet, and it's just little snapshots of the use of that, and it's even funny in places. And I'm just like, it was shortlisted for the 2021 Booker Prize, as well as shortlisted for the Women's Prize. So I'm waiting to see how this one turns out. Now this is where it turns. Well, I finished chapter 1 of the Secrets of the Little Greek Taverna, and I'm just going to talk about the first chapter of this, as well as the prologue. The prologue makes no sense because it's set in like real life. So when somebody sighs in Greece, somebody in LA feels the urge to go to Greece, and there's like this magical pull. Yeah. And then we get the follow through. She buys a ticket and is telling her friends about why she's buying the ticket. And so in chapter 1, we are talking. There's 3 friends talking over Sunday brunch and Prosecco. I don't get this person. And by the way, I annotated the hell out of this first chapter because it annoyed me so much. And it's just sarcastic comments throughout this. But I just like had to write it down. There was a quote from her mum, and I'm just like, this was already too corny for me. Also, mothers don't talk like this. This is very corny. As we are following this conversation with her 3 friends, firstly, I don't feel there. I don't feel there. I'm just hearing a conversation that could literally be anywhere. I do not have any sights, sounds, or smells. I do not feel at all in this book. And also, the waiter, just the waiter. As the waiter came and opened another bottle of Prosecco, he stared for an exceptionally long time at Jory, protagonist. Kate and Liz raised their eyebrows and gave Jory a kick under the table. And yeah, the waiter blushed before he walked away, and it's just like, oh, that waiter was into you. I'm just like, that was the most unprofessional waiter ever, to just stare at the customer. What the hell? I don't know what it's like for cafes in America, but I'm pretty sure that is very unprofessional to just ogle your customers. What? And also, what the hell? And the conversation is so stale. Like, nobody talks like this whatsoever. It just feels like, what? Because we've got this explanation of one of the friends called Liz, who is proper and practical. And I'm just like, please show me, not tell me. We're just about to have the conversation. You could just like put it in the dialogue, or how she holds herself at the table. Nope. You know how I feel about my father's money, and while I know you don't think my waitressing job at the French cafe is a real job, Liz. Nobody really talks like this. It's like, oh, she's rich, really. This is casually brought up. No prompting. And one of my comments was just like, the prose is very, 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 very lazy. Because it literally says, money was never something Jory had in large quantities, even though she could have. This is my bedtime read, and I don't want to get angry before bed. So this is annoying. And then we get to Greece. So it's been established that our character likes to travel a lot because she gets the urge to leave, and so she travels a lot. So she's on the boat, on a ferry to the place, and she hasn't booked accommodation. She has not booked accommodation. How? She's a seasoned traveller and she's dumb about travelling? How is that realistic? I mean, seasoned travellers know. I mean, I'm not even a seasoned traveller, and I knew to book the accommodation. But there's like this whole thing about, oh, I might have to sleep on a park bench. And of course, she meets the other protagonist of the book, the person who sighed from that she felt the sigh from, so far away. Yeah, that person. I don't get any sense of the town she arrives at and the town she is taken to. I know it's at night, but that would have been so atmospheric to like describe just what is happening outside the car. She's literally picked up from the ferry by the first person she talks to and given accommodation. This just does not feel polished. It doesn't feel... So I'm hoping... I'm going to give it 5 chapters. I'm going to give it 5 chapters and then see if I want to continue. Sometimes you can't sit in a novel, and this, I can't sit in it. I just can't sit in the novel. It's just, the exposition doesn't feel natural. It feels like the characters aren't real. It just feels like a story somebody wanted to tell without actually fleshing it out properly to give it depth. And I know this is like a lot of criticism for the first chapter, but I really can't sit in this book. I don't like it. The author also has passions with food, wine, and travel. So I'm hoping the writing does get better, that I can feel immersed in this Greek town. I want it to be described thoroughly and beautifully, and I want this so bad. Now that I've had a really bad first chapter, I really want it to just improve and pick up, and I want to feel like I am in this town, eating the food, drinking the wine, because the author is passionate about that. I just want to be there. I just want to be there. And I'm hoping it does pick up. I'm going to give it 5 more chapters and see what happens. So that's enough of negativity for once. I can't sit in this book trying to work out where this is going to go, and I could live here. It's really difficult subject matter, but it feels real. enough that I could actually be living in it. So fucking good. And I haven't even, I'm that far in. Excited for this one. I'm so excited. I just wanted to end this clip on a positive note because I don't like ranting for too long. Okay, so I got up to chapter, I'm finally reached chapter 4 of Secrets of the Little Greek Taverna, and let me just explain what has gone on so far. So we've had the horrific chapter 1, and now for some reason Jory is thinking that Cressida has it out for her over like not coming over to introduce herself or to like greet her like this one morning, and it just kind of, maybe some people are busy. Give the benefit of the doubt. Something. I mean, it is like explained that Cressida like is going through something to Jory, and she still thinks Cressida doesn't like her. It's like, come on, just give Cressida her breathing room. She's allowed to be emotional. You've literally just figured out what it is. Oh, it's been told to her. It's been told to her what it is, and yeah. And then we had Jory be taken by Cressida into town to get, and it's just like, just to explore for a bit. And she goes into this, so Jory goes into this art gallery, and I don't know what time of the year this is, but why is like Jory needing to wear a sweatshirt, which I'm assuming is jumper, in the middle of Greece? Like, I would expect it to be warm, or at least warmer than what she's used to, but I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't expect anybody to be wearing jumpers in Greece. I don't get it. And on top of that, we go into this art gallery, and she's going to buy. So she finds a sign, books in English. So that's what she went in for, and some postcards. Found out it's an art gallery as well, but that's the books are to the side. And again, we get some more really horrible dialogue. I'm getting really sick of the dialogue. But this woman who's in charge of the art gallery kind of stops everything when Shane pops up. And yeah, so we get the dumbest thing ever. So we don't learn that he's an American tourist until a postcard. It's either that or I missed it. I blacked it out. But it's just like, so this gallery owner is really drooling over this like Shane person, and he's too busy looking at Jory. Okay. Just like the waiter at the front of this book. Okay. And so we get this thing where she shakes his hand, and the sizzle happens. And I just could not stop eye rolling. Not to mention, he is from a particular college that was rivals with her college. So it's just the electricity thing. It's the electricity thing and the dialogue. The electricity and the dialogue, and then once the electricity thing happens, she's backing up, bumps into a stand, and then he leans forward to try and catch the stand and her, and she steps back even further and bumps into another stand, and things are on the floor, and it just makes things worse and worse and worse. I'm just like, nobody in the history of anything is this bad. What? So we're doing the cliche thing of the electricity upon touch, and on top of that, she's clumsy when he's about. You know, I actually genuinely thought that the interactions that we had from Cressida and Jory, I thought that was going to be the romance, and it was going to build from there. No, I couldn't have my queer heart satisfied there. It's a straight romance. she was writing out the postcard, and there's like lines through, and then she's like, oh, that's a waste of 2 postcards. Am I the only tourist that has a notebook and writes out the message before transferring it to the postcard? Am I the only one that does that? She's wasted 2 postcards, and the postcard that she finalised is a very long message, and either it's a big postcard or she's writing microscopically. I am nitpicking, I know, but yeah, I'm DNFing. I didn't even get to chapter 5, and I'm DNFing. I am not liking this book one bit. But what really did it, that I wasn't going to hit chapter 5, was page 42. On page 42, I finally was able to get a clear image of a scene in my head, and it was her dorm room. Right. So on page 41, she's walked to the end of the peninsula to the famed Portara, the Temple of Apollo, and the Great Door of Naxos. And then from there we get a very, not even a description. So she's stood in front of like amazing architecture and stuff. We don't get any description of it. And it kind of snips to, she wishes she did like history instead of philosophy. She really enjoyed the debate team of the philosophy department, but and then it went to that she got the jumper that she's wearing because it was gifted to her by her debate team. And then it goes into her dorm room, which gets more description than the entire Greek holiday that she's on. I can see her dorm room clearly, but not the town she's exploring, or the town she's staying at, or anything. The doorway. Come on. So I'm DNFing. I don't like it. And page 42 is the reason why. That is infuriating. I want to be in this town. But the author isn't doing the work for that. I want to bloody have a vivid image. So the bookmark is out. And I do not want to continue on with this book. I mean, I might be soft DNFing a fire study, but at least I'm interested in it enough to keep going. This, I am hard DNFing. This is not happening. I don't care about it. It just feels so infuriating to be in this book. Like, the dialogue is lazy. Like, nobody talks like that. Nobody. And still, we have these clipped conversations that it's just like, this is obviously fake, because none of that felt genuine. So yeah, I'm quite infuriated by this book, and I'm glad I put it down. I've just thought of another thing that's wrong with this book. As we're following Jory around, somehow ends up listening in on a private conversation between a couple, and they're speaking English, not Greek. A lot of people start talking in English before learning that she's English. Like, I know that she's the only tourist in town, and word has spread, but kind of, why does everybody immediately speak English and there's not a single bit of Greek? Yeah, there's no Greek. Nobody's speaking Greek. There's no research into the language whatsoever, which kind of makes it feel less like a Greek town. So yeah, once again, don't like it. Too much to criticize, and I don't like it. Nope. It's a shame, really. I was really hoping to be lost in a little Greek town. Oh well. Okay, so after work, only having one day off last week, I am not getting dressed. So tired. I think I'm like very close to halfway. Like, I'm just like slowly getting to book 2, which is somewhere there in like that far away from book 2. And it is still written so beautifully. There is one issue that I'm worried about, and I'm noping at. Our protagonist, Eve, has a relationship with, it's more of a looking back on her life kind of thing throughout the story and what is currently happening, that's not really discussing the relationship, but she is in fact in a relationship with somebody who is 16 years older than her, which wouldn't bother me, and apparently it's bothering the town, the age gap. However, she was 8 years old when they met. So naturally that's going to bother me. That because that goes into a different type of yeah. So depending on what happens in this story going forward, I mean, she thinks it's the age gap that's the issue. No, it's the fact that when you just turned 8, on your 8th birthday, you meet a 23-year-old who is nearly 24, and I quote, nearly 24, and this person ends up being your partner in the future. No, that is a big no-no. That is a big no-no. So depending on what happens with the rest of this book, I could potentially not like it. But so far, everything else is fine. The descriptions are beautiful, and I feel quite at home in her little farmhouse because of just how well Suzanne Fletcher describes this place. And you just get lost in the place as well as the town, because it's like fleshed out with like all of the people and their stories. And yeah, quite lovely just to dip into again and again as you pick up this book each time. I'm hoping next vlog I will have finished this and have my final thoughts. I will have started Night Shift, and my dad sent me some books. So I will be starting Master and Commander soon. Hopefully that will make an appearance next time. Anyway, that's this video. Hope you all are doing okay. I'm certainly not. I'm over exhausted at this point and waiting for my daffodils to bloom. So that's literally all I have going right now, is waiting for my daffodils. Yeah. Until next time, bye Shell. And all you other wonderful weirdos watching.